Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Shakiya Morris. Shakiya is the host of the Powers of Her podcast. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Shakiya Morris. Shakiya, welcome.
Hello, thank you. Good morning. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you so much. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with? That inspired you to start your podcast, The Powers of Her.
Uh, I'm surrounded by my family. I moved to Oklahoma and I had this newfound gumption to want to have my voice heard. And that really is what started the show. I felt like I didn't need to hide in the shadows anymore. I needed to create the platform that I wanted to be part of. So that's when I set out for women empowerment and informing the public about how we can have a biophilic and sustainable world.
Why women empowerment is important to you?
Because I feel like throughout history, women have always had a voice. We just have not been heard. We have continuously tried fighting for human rights, basic human rights. And I feel like if I'm able to create a platform for other women to be heard, that is my job is done here on earth. I have completed what I feel that I have been sent here to do, and that is to help build up communities because women are at the core of these communities.
Mm, wonderful. So, Shikaya, based on your experience of building this empowerment of women communities, what are the top three mistakes to avoid?
I would have to say that the first one would be that I gave up on myself at a young age. And by this, I mean, I let everyone's idea of what my success looked like get the better of me. And once I shed that, I began to see, hey, these are things that you are good at. These are things that you should share with the world instead of keep them to yourself and hinder them. So that would be one. The second one would be that I was too trusting of certain uh, coworkers or information that I would receive. I was basically too naive, and I was that way for a long time. And I think that not taking that extra step and looking into it myself really hindered me at a young age. And I really developed out of that as a student and a mother. It kind of created this whole different mentality of look at the bigger picture instead of what's happening right now. So that's what basically led me to my career choice of sustainability and international development. And the third would be uh, not listening to my gut often. I tend to shy away from that, and it's kind of been an experiment this past year of listening to my gut and accepting that failure is there. It's going to always be there, and that's how leaders are built, is through understanding how you failed and teaching others how to be guided through those failures. So I think those are the three things that I would say I failed and also turned around to develop from as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, while in the process of doing mistakes and learning, and I'm sure you like to share with us your greatest failure and what did you learn from it and how did you recover from that?
Okay, so my greatest failure was um, thinking that I was the best at something that I clearly was not the best at. So I was a business to business salesperson. And I mean, I had a role, like my record was, I would come back with no products. So I had this big head. Well, my failure was my ego and um, feeling like I had nothing to lose because, you know, I wasn't getting paid a lot, but I felt like my work was payment enough, I guess. So I would go out with this kind of cocky attitude. Anyway, I failed because this attitude got the best of me. Um, I began to walk around and I would walk into the businesses like, yeah, you're going to buy this from me. And I started getting a sea of no's quicker than, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. I was getting no left and right. And I sat back and I said, I'm failing. You know, I am a failure. Um, and it was my own mentality at that time. And never will that happen again. It was a humbling moment.
How did you recover from that?
It was really just taking a step back and, you know, listening to these comments that were being said about me and really doing some introspection of why I was becoming this way, because this was an out of character thing for me. And I think that because I was becoming so good at something, I thought there was nothing else to learn. And that was the mistake, because we will never stop learning as leaders,
Yeah.
as individuals. So that is how I overcame that, was just doing that introspection and understanding that you never stop learning. Every day is a chance to learn something new.
Yeah, wonderful. Enough about your failure and mistakes to avoid. Let's just switch the side of the table. 180 angle success secrets. So, what are the top three success secrets? Before you say it, I want you to promise with us that you're going to give us your best ones.
All right. I would have to say, stay true to yourself. This is something that throughout, since I've been a mother, I have been trying to teach my children, because that's something that I wasn't. And once I began to be true to myself, that's when I started seeing growth and opportunity.
Mhm.
Um, the second thing would be to be not afraid to say no, uh, because there are opportunities that will continuously rise, depending on your work ethic. So don't be afraid to say no if even one thing in an opportunity or an assignment or project isn't appealing to you, because you, at the end of the day, someone wants to work with you. You have this option. So don't be afraid to say no, because it could lead to other opportunities and it could show your confidence at the end of the day. Um, and the third would be to always be creative. Um, and being creative means you're being metacognitive, you're being open-minded. Um, you're more open to experiences and understanding of the world around you, and that includes other human beings. And I think that when you are creative, your thoughts, processes, and your problem-solving abilities stand out more.
Yeah, always be creative. That's easier said than done. How do you do that?
Yeah, that's something that I
Be
had. That's just
creative.
my innate ability.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, what's written on your shirt? I noticed that very.
Nature cheaper than therapy. That's something that I found this shirt and I immediately was like, this is speaking to me, because that's basically my background. I believe that our innate desire to want to be one with nature is what leads us to prosperity. In the end, we each have this. When we are out in nature, we feel happier, we are healthier, we can yell and be free at that. It's so we have these different connections with nature, and I think that when we do that, uh, we can begin to accept ourselves and our surroundings. So
And
yeah,
I second that. I go for 1 to 2 hour walk every day. I love it. That's my best moment of the whole day.
it's amazing.
Yeah, wonderful. So, Shakya, the powers of her podcast. People who are watching this right now, how they can support you?
Well, you can support me by heading over to thepowersofher.com, or you can head over to Anchor, Podcast, Google Podcast, and just search The Powers of Her. And really, I just need people to get um, on the train, I guess, about making this world the place that we want to be.
Yeah.
Um, I think I have a quote that I say: imagine your community, imagine better futures, a better future than you can even imagine.
Yeah.
We want to be part of, we want to create these. And that's what I want to create a dialogue about. I want to um, I wanted to create a foundation that people could um, become informed about sustainable, regenerative, and biophilic solutions. And speaking with these companies and other individuals who are out there boosting communities um, is the one way that I can do that. In podcasts and books, I write children's books and coloring books, and just to inform the future generations of the impacts that we can all have.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. This is good. How big is the community you created from this Power of Her podcast?
I'm sorry.
How much the impact you see already done? How many episodes, and who is the ideal guest for this? That's your opportunity to invite some guests.
Okay, thank you. I usually reach out to community leaders and other entrepreneurs and other business owners who really are trying to make a difference in the field of regenerative solutions and sustainable actions. So, and this could mean the bottom line for environment or
Mhm.
your company. Um, I think that we have come to a pivotal moment in time where this understanding is not only necessary, it's urgently necessary.
Yeah.
So this is the type of dialogue that I kind of want to share, but at a more comfortable pace,
Mhm.
as though you're coming in my kitchen. That is my safe space. So whenever I speak to them, I let them know, hey, you and I are in my kitchen right now. We can have a conversation, and this is a free conversation because the only way that we can grow is listening to one another.
Yeah.
Um, and we might not agree with everyone, and that's okay.
In fact, we agree to disagree. 100% still carry on the conversation. That's the key part. The powersofher.com. Go and check that out. And thank you so much. We are about to wrap up. Here's my question. I'm holding my breath. I have no idea what's about to come. And what would you say about your today's guest experience and growth hacking secret show?
Well, I would say that it was absolutely amazing being here with you, Siddique. You have harnessed a way to allow people to share their voices on a platform that is comfortable for anyone to watch from anywhere. And I really appreciate you giving us an opportunity to share our messages with the world.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Really appreciate it. What would you say as a final word?
I just want to say, actually, I want to promote my book here, Renewable Energy for Kiddos.
Yeah.
It's about encouraging children to become citizen scientists to harness the power of renewable energy.
Mhm.
And I feel like this is something that we need to speak about, and parents can learn too. And this is something that I believe that we are stepping into, and people need to be informed. Once again, I love to inform people. If you don't mind, Sadiq, I have a quote here that I would like to share.
Mhm.
It's from The Power of Myth by Joseph Campbell, but um, it's furthermore, we have not even to risk the adventure alone, for the heroes of all time have gone before us. The labyrinth is thoroughly known. We have only to follow the thread of a hero path, and where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find a god. And where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. Where we had thought to travel outward, we will come to the center of our own existence. And where we had thought to be alone, we will be with all the world.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Shakiya, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.